Okay, so Niantic has found themselves in hot water once again, and this time it involves those shiny shadow Pokemon that so many people are trying to obtain. So what exactly happened here? Well, Niantic accidentally turned off being able to get shiny shadow Pokemon from the Team Go Rocket battles. And this was discovered on the Sylph Road subreddit, considering that a lot of players were farming up all of these Team Go Rocket leaders, and for one reason or another, they were not encountering shiny shadow Pokemon. So it seems like a lot of people were wondering if Niantic turned it off. And then, of course, on Niantic's social media pages, they announced that they did, in fact, turn it off accidentally. So this was a huge oopsie, and Niantic had a lot of explaining to do, and they needed to compensate all those players who actually spent money buying Team Go Rocket leader radars in order to farm them up for those shiny shadow Pokemon. So I'm going to be talking about this controversy in today's video. Let's roll the intro and get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. Today, unfortunately, I have to report on some more controversies from Niantic, and I really can't find myself spinning this in a positive way. So what exactly happened was that Niantic unintentionally and quietly turned off being able to get shiny shadow Pokemon from Team Go Rocket leaders, and this created a lot of frustration from players, especially those who were desperately farming these Team Go Rocket leaders in order to get these shiny shadow Pokemon. And yeah, Niantic has failed to communicate, and they had failed to compensate for those players. And a lot of people are pretty furious about this, considering that Niantic hasn't had the best track record as of late. So Niantic has a lot of ground to make up for this oopsie. For those of you who do not understand the impact of this mistake, think of it this way. Imagine that they release a new shiny through raids, and then they get a lot of people spending money on raid passes in order to get this new shiny, but after a while people realized that the shiny form was actually turned off before this new raid. So people were doing a whole bunch of raids trying to get this new shiny, and it turns out they weren't even able to get shinies during that period. So what do? They give us 3 free raid passes to compensate for the probable 50 or 60 raid passes that we spent trying to get this shiny when we couldn't even get it. That level of frustration is probably what's going on with a lot of players who really wanted these new shiny shadow Pokemon. And yes, it is really unfortunate that this happened, but this is all on Niantic. They need to prevent mistakes like this from happening. Now, the one thing that I will say is that Niantic is still continuing to do their work at home policies, considering that we're all in a worldwide pandemic right now. So I do want to give them some leeway. There are going to be mistakes slipping through the cracks, and we do have to be aware that Niantic is not dedicating as many resources to the game as they used to, but they're still trying to push content out. So yes, there's going to be a lot of mistakes here and there, but in any case, this is still a pretty bad mistake that's going to be extremely costly for a lot of different players. Ever since they did a shakeup of the Team Go Rocket leaders, there was a lot of players who desperately wanted some of the new shiny shadow Pokemon, especially when it comes to Growlithe and Hypno. Like, these are Pokemon that are still pretty relevant in PvP, and a lot of people just really like these Pokemon. So naturally, people are going to be farming them up in order to get those shiny shadow forms of these Pokemon. So unfortunately for them to do this kind of a mistake right now, it's going to be a really bad look for Pokemon Go and Niantic. I mean, from the looks of it, it was a very simple mistake that some dev probably switched something off by accident, or maybe one line of code or one line of script was erroring out. So unfortunately, players were not able to get their shiny shadow Pokemon for a long while. I've seen reports of players spending hundreds of dollars in order to get a whole bunch of Pokecoins, which they could spend on those Team Go Rocket leader radars in order to farm them up. Now, this is a huge time saver. This is something that a lot of players tend to do if they're looking to get certain shinies from Team Go Rocket leaders. And unfortunately, a lot of those radars were completely wasted, considering that you were not able to get a shiny shadow Pokemon for a certain period of time. So Niantic tried tried to compensate for this by giving every single player 3 free rocket radars in order to make up for this mistake that they made. Unfortunately, 3 rocket radars are not going to be enough in terms of compensation for all those players who spent hundreds of dollars trying to farm up these Team Go Rocket leaders. I really think Niantic tried to do their best to try to compensate for their mistakes, but this is just simply not enough. I don't think players are going to be happy with this kind of compensation unless they spent $0 on Team Go Rocket radars. In that case, yes, this is going to be a nice little bonus for them, but for players who spend hundreds of dollars trying to farm up those shiny shadow Pokemon, this is going to be a bit of a slap in the face. So I really think Niantic needs to take a look at what they are doing and be a lot more polished, because a lot of these simple mistakes are what's creating a lot of just deflation within the community. I mean, players have been wanting Niantic to just throw them a bone for a long time. I mean, they've been having some pretty bad monetization practices, they've been having a lot of these sort of mistakes, and it's just been a very bad look with the community. And yeah, I just really think Niantic needs to get their act together and prevent mistakes like this from falling through the cracks. I don't know if it means ramping up game testing or if it means that their developers need some extra time on certain updates, but a lot of these mistakes have been frequent as of late. Now again, like I said, yes, the dynamics of Niantic's workflow is definitely different right now because of the pandemic, but at the same time, Niantic needs to make the proper adjustments to their release schedules so that mistakes like this do not happen. A lot of these mistakes are the result of rushed development, probably at the result of leadership or investors just pressuring this company to go above and beyond in a time of a pandemic. So honestly, I just feel like a lot of these missteps need to be prevented if Pokemon Go is to have some sort of longevity, because a lot of players are really fed up with these sort of issues, and honestly, it's just really frustrating. Like, me as a player, me as a Pokemon Go player, I hate seeing mistakes like this continuously happen and hampering my own personal gameplay, because I did not spend money on getting those radars, but I did spend a ridiculous amount of time farming up Team Go Rocket leaders in order to pick up a shiny, and it's really frustrating to know that a lot of that time was wasted, considering that shiny shadow Pokemon was not possible for a short period of time. And I do feel bad for a lot of those players who spent a ridiculous amount of money trying to farm these up. And yeah, I really hope Niantic gets their act together and they try to compensate a lot better than just giving us 3 rocket radars. But in any case, yeah, these are just my thoughts regarding this latest bit of controversy, but I would love to know your thoughts down below. Were you one of the players who got completely shafted by spending hundreds of dollars on radars and then to not get a shiny because they accidentally turned it off? I would love to know. What do you think about Niantic right now? Like, what is your sentiment towards them? Are all of these mistakes actually giving you a negative view of this company, or are you cutting them some slack considering the worldwide pandemic? I would love to know. Let's have an active discussion. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. It was just really unfortunate for me to make. I've been trying to think of some good news to cover when it comes to Pokemon Go, but it's just been really difficult lately outside of the general hype behind events. So I'm really trying, guys. I really want Niantic to do well. I really want Pokemon Go to do well. It's just been really difficult lately, and I really hope Niantic is paying attention to all of this stuff so that they just do better. I just want Niantic to do better. That's really what it comes down to. But yeah, that's going to be it. I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.